Ta-da! Welcome to the Silverhairstacker Show, brought to you by Milwaukee. Now, box cutters. Yeah. Thank you, Milwaukee. They've been good tools for several years. I have two of them. More than one. Because you can never miss the opportunity to cut yourself. I cut you, man. I cut you. What movie was that in? I cut you, man. No, don't cut me. Well, here we are. Who we got? Bum crack pimper. Bum crack pimper. Bum crack picker and Anissa. That's it. It's us. Us three. Where's Lag? Where's everybody else? Well, what's happening today? It's Tuesday. It's almost Thanksgiving. We're going to do a Thanksgiving show? Might as well. We got nothing else going on except trying to stay out of the way of the people working in the kitchen. Yeah. We're having a herd of people over here. Eating lots of turkey, and I guess having a lot of people leaves less leftovers. Hey Jim, welcome to the show where very few people go. Oh, sorry, I had to blow my nose. You didn't want to listen to that. These dang armrests on my chair have gotten loose and they just spin, which is very annoying. I need to figure out how to tighten them down. There's a lot of stuff I need to tighten down. Like my brain. Uh-oh. The washing machine is out of balance. Banging around like crazy. That's what happens when you put 6 of the big towels in there. What the heck? Hi, Lag. What's going on up in here? Nothing. Oh, there it goes again. Can y'all hear it? I suppose I could lift the lid and readjust the load. Like someone's tied up and trying to get out. Yeah, so yeah, nothing much is happening here. We'll wait till a few more people get in here before we get to the serious discussions. Dang, washing machine, quit it. It'll settle down a little bit. Hang on, I'll be right back. I better adjust that load. Well, I couldn't adjust it because it locked down for the next cycle, and you can't open the lid when it does that. All right. Copy the link and put it in the side chat because we need more than just me talking. Okay, there it is. Y'all come in here and hook me up with some excellent conversation. How are sales going, y'all? Sales. I listed a Army surplus coat yesterday, and it already sold $130. It's just sitting in my death pile. Oh well. I wonder how long I've had it. I probably had it a month or more. I have stuff, yes, a month or more without getting it listed. Yeah, that's me. I gotta quit buying now. Since the mother-in-law moved in, we're having to consolidate our spread outedness around here. You were joined but your mom's new server firewall block. Right, lag. You ever do that? Get stuff in your inventory that, yeah, it's got good value, but it's just sitting there. There you go. You want to see it? Here, I'll screen share. We're not doing anything else. Our screen share. Present. If you ever get the opportunity to buy Army surplus stuff, hey Scott. If you ever get the opportunity to buy Army surplus stuff, so.
Oh, I guess I should turn the.
There it is.
Rookie mistake.
I just listed this yesterday, and I took a best offer. It's just an old Vietnam era cold weather military coat. $130.
They see you already, little one.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, we have a new guest here today.
The new puppy! The Dapple. I forgot the name already.
My name is Franklin, damn it.
Franklin, damn it.
Say I'm Dapple and Pieball.
Dapple and Piebald.
See, the feet are the Dapple, whereas all its feet are that color. And then the black and white and brown is the Pieball.
Cool.
Say I'm ferocious. I'm 6 pounds of ferocious.
So what does Phoebe think about the puppy?
Phoebe is extremely jealous.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
Dog wars.
they play and get along, but yeah, I'm just all skin and bones. Mama says, and cover your ears if you don't want to hear this. Mama says I'm all ears and penis.
There you go. It happens.
He is a very sweet little boy. He's got a great little disposition. Oh my, and personality. His personality is bigger than he is.
That's good. Dachshunds are pretty smart. I like dachshunds.
So, he prances around. When he runs, he runs with his head up level. He'll go outside on the patio, and to get on the grass, he leaps like it's some huge jump every time. Instead of just walking into the grass, he has to jump into it.
Yeah, we had a dachshund for a long time.
Yeah, they live anywhere from 12 to 18 years usually. You know,
Uh,
Dixie is 16.
wow. That that one of ours wasn't one of the smart ones though. You'd give it like a rawhide bone, and it would just swallow the whole thing whole after it got it soft enough to get down.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
And then about an hour later, it would throw it up. Stupid dog.
Yeah, he's 5 months old and only 6 pounds, so he's probably not gonna get much bigger than 8 pounds. I wouldn't think.
That's a little guy. That's littler than Phoebe.
Oh yeah, Phoebe's a chunk when you pick this one up and then pick up Phoebe.
It's nice though. Got your new dog for the holidays.
I told her we wouldn't get one, and then I guess I was wrong. You know, right. So we had a good car ride home. So we picked him up Friday around noon. He got car sick, and so he peed on Joni 3 times, he puked on her 3 times, and he pooped on her once. And it was only, 2 hours and 45-minute car ride, so there was a lot of action going on.
Wow.
Whatever. Say, I'm gonna go to sleep. I've been up since 4:30.
And this pup was surrendered from a lady who couldn't
So
take care of it.
it was a young family, and she had lost her job, and she wanted to, they figured the expense of a dog was too much right now, and they didn't have any money for Christmas, and they were worried about other things. And Joni found him on a dachshund website here, Alabama Dachshunds or something. Because people don't realize how expensive animals are. Expensive.
Oh man.
You're expensive, aren't you?
Our last dog we had passed away. Had to take insulin, and then she went blind, and then oh my god, it was just thing after thing. About all the time said and done, we'd spent probably $10,000 at the vet on that dog.
Yeah, and this one still has puppy teeth that are stupid sharp.
That's me, Glock. Sorry. It's got to be done. We're having home health people over this morning to work with my mother-in-law, so got to get some of the laundry done so it didn't pile up like my death pile. I can hide my death pile, but laundry, it just kind of hangs out.
I was just a chair moving through the creek, buddy. Yeah, so him and Phoebe play a lot. Dixie just looks at him like they're nuts. And so when he first got here, Phoebe would run up the ramps, and he'd just look at her. There's a ramp to the couch and a ramp to the bed. But once we took a couple treats and showed him just run up the ramp. Yeah, there's no safe spots now. Only place she can go now is if she wants to get away from him, and she goes outside because he's not big enough to push the dog door open. If somebody holds the dog door open, he'll go out, but he's not strong enough to push the magnets. Yeah, vintage memories. Everything is doubled up. People food is doubled too.
I haven't really looked at dog food prices. Yeah, I bet they've gone up like everything else, though.
You hear Jacob? Is he awake? This one really loves Jacob.
Good.
So I woke up in the middle of the night. I'm having problems with my CPAP machine drying out my sinuses, and it was like 3:30 yesterday. And so he wakes up and comes in there. Phoebe, if I get up, Phoebe follows me, so she just wants to sleep in the living room with me. Well, then they started chasing each other, and finally Phoebe gave up and went back to sleep under the covers with me in the recliner. All of a sudden, he disappeared. I'm like, where? I wonder where Franklin went. Right before I fell asleep again. Jacob's like, oh, he came and woke me up, and for the next 30 minutes, bit on my arm till he went back to sleep.
How you doing, Deb? How is it cold over there? Did you get snow over there, Deb? I bet they got a little snow.
It's stupid cold here, man. This is not. This is the South. This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah,
Yesterday morning when we went to the auction, uh, it was 22 degrees when I got in the van. I'm like, holy crap!
that's cold. Yeah, I watched some of Idaho Hillbilly, and he's talking about 4 degrees. Yeah, I was thinking already. God, it's just mid-November.
Yeah, Kevin and Kitty get a lot of. They get a lot of snow up there in the, where they are.
42 degrees here. Gonna be cloudy all day. Man, it's just. It isn't just cold here. It's overcast, and then it'll drizzle, and then it'll rain, and it'll.
See, I got you beat. This is our first time in the 50s in like 4 days.
Yeah. We have 40-degree highs pretty much for the foreseeable future. Oh, wait. Thursday's supposed to be 52 with rain.
So my
80
mom has a dachshund, and she's had 3 or 4. So we called her on the way home, and we're like, we finally have a temperature after like 11 dachshunds. We finally have one that's not going to break 11 pounds.
They can be eaters, though. You have to watch dachshunds from getting overweight.
They're eternally hungry. So this morning, I did Dixie Belle's bowl first, and he goes right at it. I'm like, Franklin, that's not your bowl. You're still eating puppy food. And I'm looking around. I'm like, what am I going to do with this dog? So I'm like, you're a little bitty. I threw him on the kitchen table. He's just looking at me. He just sits down and watches me do all the bowls. I'm like, that's a good place for you. Throw you up there where you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Except watch somebody.
Leaps into the grass. That dog thinks it's like underdog. You can fly. I believe I can fly.
Yeah, he is. He is very funny. I mean, you just watch him as well. So the long hairs, including their paws, the bottom of their paw pads get a lot of fur, and so he takes off running after Phoebe, and Phoebe will stop, and he tries to stop like on the tile or the hardwood floors, and he goes sliding by, trying to stop and then all of a sudden when he finally stops, he falls over. I mean, this is a little character right here. Gets right up and just starts prancing again. Aren't you, Mom?
Gotta take this call.
All right, so I watched Rockstar yesterday talk about eBay and Amazon or reselling being slow. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I've told you over and over. I'll tell you the same thing Dusty used to tell over and over. It's about what you sell. It's not. Times are changing. money is tight in a lot of places, and if clothing might be a tough market right now. I'm telling you, I'm still selling all this crazy mess. I just sold a. It's still up there. Sold that a couple minutes ago. I think I had $2 in it from a yard sale, but I shipped 9 yesterday, and I don't sell a ton on eBay. I've only got 170 items, and I've got 4 more today to ship. That's a good one. It's the receiver looks like I had never seen one. Looks like that. It's wood grain from the 70s. Really nice shape. Paid $20 for it, and I turned a cassette to speakers. Sold the other stuff at auction, and then listed this and sold this. It's about what you sell. It's not about numbers. It's actually about the items that you sell. So on Amazon yesterday, this is a good one. You'll like this one, Lag. Let me pull up. It's one of the things I got to ship today. Let this phone bring up Amazon. Well, that's a good one. I bought that at Walmart when I was there for groceries. It's a Gujitsu Hero. They had 3 of them. They sold before I could get home. They were $10.97. They sold for $59.88. That's an ultra rare, is what they call it. I looked at the back of the package, and it shows you which one, and it shows you which one, and it's ultra rare. And I'm like, ultra rare. I've got one in my hands, and there's 2 laying in front of me. They're worth $60 each, so that was cool.
What'd you get? Sorry,
They were the Heroes of Gujitsu, a little toy, those squishy toys, sort of like Stretch Armstrongs used to be.
Oh
wow. They're $10.97. I found 3 of the ultra rares. But they tell you which ones are ultra rare. But this is the good one. So Todd, you're older than me. You'll remember these things. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, these are so plentiful, they used to be a joke. So it's a Conair hot lather machine.
Oh, yeah, I've sold a bunch of those.
That one was brand new. Picked it up at an estate sale for $24, and it sold in 12 hours on Amazon for $168.88.
Oh, my God. And mine wasn't that.
Yeah, that's a good one right there.
Dang.
And that was the first day of an estate sale. I went with a friend, and he told me to look out for that, so I grabbed it, even though I knew I would buy it. And I'm like, Tracy, you want this thing? I said, it's $24. He goes, there's not enough money on eBay. I don't want to mess with it. No, go ahead. So I bought it and sold it in less than a day. He doesn't have an Amazon account. But I shipped 25 yesterday, 24 something. I got 12 to ship today. A lot of things are selling. But it's, what are you selling right now? Is it something that people look at it and go, because remember, if things are tight, they're not going to buy for themselves. They will buy for others, gifts and that kind of stuff. So, or things that you're buying something, either utility, something they need, like that fan control that I just sold, or Todd, it's getting cold. He sold that nice jacket. Look at what you're selling. If you're concerned about this, a supposed slowdown, inflation will hurt some people, but it's just a matter about what you sell. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
And watch your prices too. Even though prices are up, that's still a competitive thing. You need to be in the ballpark.
Yeah, I went through 400 listings this morning before the show, and picking out ones I can lower prices on so I can just get them moved, My listed pile is getting almost as big as my death pile. So I need to get some stuff moving or get rid of it. Time to donate some.
You would be so sleepy if you didn't get up at 4:30 in the morning.
But yeah, the
Yeah,
stuff just sitting in the death pile. That's my problem. That coat just sat over there for more than a month. I didn't realize. I mean, it's a vintage Vietnam era coat. I didn't realize it would sell so good and fast and for so much.
you hear Jacob in there? You want to go get him?
Hi, Maggie.
You want to go get Jacob?
Sadie, where'd y'all come from? Beth, we got all the good people.
When did Larry?
396 send offers. Let's see how many send offers I have.
When did Larry make it to the good list?
No, I only have 104 listings eligible to send offers.
You want to go see Jacob? You just want to sit here.
Uh,
Here he comes. You want to go get him? All right, Prancer. Go get him. Go get him. Oh, when he takes off running, his front end runs faster than his back end, so he runs crooked. It's he runs his rear end goes to the left, so when he tries to make a right turn, his butt's all the way around. He tries to turn right. And,
Puppies are fun until they poop all over the place, and you have to teach them to go outside.
so he's already pad trained, so he doesn't make it outside. He does make it to his pad, so I guess it's better than nothing.
Yeah, that's a lot better than nothing. Apartment dogs just live like that. Mom and dad are away at work, and they just gotta go on the pad.
Yeah, Phoebe and Dixie most of the time they go out their dog door and go out whenever they want. Except for yesterday morning, I'm in the shower and I get out of the shower and Dixie was sitting on the bath mat. She just peed on the bath mat. I'm like, really? What the hell? He's only 5 months old. Johnny can tell you his exact birthday. I think it was in June.
Our dogs, they haven't peed in the house in years now. Now, the little one, she won't go out if it's raining or snowing. She won't go out to the grass, so she'll pee on the back porch.
Ours did the same thing. I'm trying to see what the hell else do I have to ship today?
So, Scott, did you see where eBay allows 24 pictures now? Woohoo! I love it.
No, we generally take 3 or 4 max.
That's fine, but I mean, like that coat, it had like, you got your zip, you got your button-out liner, you got your hood, and all the each part of the coat, three-part coat, you had to take pictures of different tags for each part. So yeah, some of the things aren't. Most of my things aren't needing 24 pictures, but man, I use like 21, 22 with that coat.
So I put a renewed effort into eBay, and in the last 31 days, I'm up 171%. That means I went That means I wasn't selling squat 31 days ago. I think that's what that means.
Yeah, we went to Italy for 2 weeks. Got back, of course the sales were in the toilet. So I got back on it, and after about 15, 20 days, my sales were up 200%.
So, so there are definitely, I can see the 24 pictures being useful on, like your coats vintage. I used all 12 pictures on that receiver. A vintage electronic. People want to see all about it. They want to see any scratches, the condition all over it. So it's better to take, that you could take a whole thing in a big picture, but I would take half the front, half the back, half the back. To show everything about it, and end up with more than 12 pictures. So
Yeah.
a lot of times, if you've got an older item or an expensive item, pictures are definitely the driving force. And so if you've got something that's really nice and big money, definitely use it. Every picture you can, every angle you can think of.
If you get just a simple Sony Dream Machine, you're going to sell for $10 profit. You just
That's four pictures max, and you're
four pictures,
the front,
yeah.
the top, the back, and the bottom, and that would be it.
Stuff like that don't take much, but
Like here, this is a return from Amazon, but I sold a 2X yesterday on eBay. This exact same, but in 2X, and I just took the front and the back. It's new in a package. I mean, what do you want me to take a picture of? DVDs are the same way. If it's a sealed DVD, front and back, I mean, you can't open it. So what else are you gonna take a picture of?
yeah, like it's just a clock radio, alarm clock, bedside table, wake up in the morning dream machine. I've never picked one of these up that didn't work. And they're easy to list, easy to ship. They're not very big. This might even go first class. I don't know. They still make radios. Yeah, people listen to radio all the time. I haven't re-signed up for a TV service. So I've been listening to the Dallas Cowboys games on the radio.
Yeah, it's the weirdest stuff. So I sold this for real, Big Wags interactive pet toy. Its claim to fame is it's a poops a lot. So it carries on a leash and poops. Who thinks of this stuff for kids?
What does it poop? It's got like little marbles or something. Oh.
It includes 9 little pieces of poop and a little bag that you can put them in.
I guess that's good for training your kid how to take care of a dog.
Okay, if you say so.
Well, it's like I just listed a Barbie baby playset. How to take care of a baby. It's got bottles and changing table.
Planted drones back there.
Yeah, I put.
Sounds like a washing tennis shoes.
No, I put like 5 of the big bathroom towels and a sheet in there all at the same time. I shouldn't have put that much in. Tom!
Hey, Todrick. Miss Scott.
What's up, buddy?
How's it going?
Man, so what took you longer, the actual wedding or all the pictures you posted?
He had some pictures now, didn't he?
Absolutely.
Well, I was making a point because I have a brother and sister-in-law that if their 1-year-old grandchild farts, they've got to take 50 damn pictures and post it on Facebook.
It was so funny, that lady that got off a tour bus and ran up to the couple out there taking pictures.
Yeah.
And
Hey Tom, did you meet this guy?
No, you got a new baby?
Yep. Johnny finally won out. Say, my name is Franklin. I'm 5 months old,
How cute.
and I weigh 6 pounds.
You know the old story about one in, one out. Does that mean that your son's moving out?
Say, Mama says I'm all ears and penis. Other than that, you can feel every rib. You want to go play with Phoebe? She wants to go play with
But
Phoebe.
I am glad the wedding is over with.
I think this lady messaging me is crazy.
Yeah, he's very patient. He'll sit here as long as I want to hold him, but he will go play as soon as you put him down. He's chasing Phoebe right now.
Scott, you've driven on I-40 from Asheville to, let's say, Hickory. That stretched it.
For the record, I have driven every single mile of I-40 twice.
Okay. Well, I hate. It's the Black Mountain section of
Yeah.
I-40. I hate that section of road right there. I hate going up it. I hate coming down it. Coming down of it worse because there's a reason they have all those truck runoffs on the side of it.
You're exactly correct. That's not nearly as bad as I-65. So a big chunk of 65 in Alabama is just 4 lanes. It is just terrible. 40 for the most part, you don't run into tons of problems where you're so backed up. But man, 65 is
That's the only stretch of road that I really dislike that I've ever driven on. And for those listening, this section of road is running from Asheville down to Old Fort, North Carolina, and it is a continuous
turn,
downgrade.
and it is turns all the way.
Yeah, it turns all the way. It is just, it is something else.
Reminds me a lot of 77 going through West Virginia. A couple of those West Virginia interstates are same way, either up or down, which way you're going in there are like this.
And you can tell when people are riding those brakes coming down that stretch because you can smell hot brakes everywhere. Especially them Florida drivers.
Yeah, because I was actually on the other end of I-40. So on the Wilmington end, it says whatever it is, California, is 2,400 miles. And on the California side, it says Wilmington is 2,455 miles. Because when I left California, 6 weeks ago, I drove I-40 from the beginning until I got off of I-40 in Memphis. So that was a good chunk of I-40 at one time.
Morning, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
And it's, for the most part, it's not a bad. I mean, it's the scenery changes so much. You go through Arkansas and everything's trees like normal south, and you roll into Oklahoma and trees start disappearing. By the time you get to Oklahoma City, you're getting to the grassy plains. And by the time you hit Texas, that's turning the tan. A lot of the grass is going away. There are no trees.
Right.
And immediately hit New Mexico, and the red rocks immediately show up. It's amazing how then the red rocks kind of disappear as you're going into Arizona. It gives you different stuff to look at. It's an interesting drive.
After I took the kids to the airport yesterday so they could fly out for their honeymoon. Um, I told Roberta when I got home, I said, if we ever win a big, big lottery, I said, all I want is a jet. So I can fly. We can go down we can have a flight in and out of Rock Hill. There's no construction because Charlotte Airport has been under construction as long as I've lived in Charlotte.
Well, you just need to be able to deal with first class. So I watched a video last night. There's a guy who does all kinds of adventures, travel blogger,
Right.
and Canada Air had offered him. He was flying to London, so they reached out and said, "We've got this new signature service. If you'll review it, we'll give you the tickets for free." And so basically, when you go to check in, they have a private office where you go in, sit down, you talk to somebody, and they only do two passengers at a time. Somebody will come into the room, take your luggage, and when you walk out, they meet you with a golf cart, and they take you to the back of the airport to their personal signature lounge, which is above their regular lounge. And a chef personally comes out and takes your order, and then comes back. They've got all the drinks, and so he's like, "This is the first time I've ever gotten a menu with no price on it." And so they when it's so close to your flight, they come and get you on the cart. They take you to the plane into a side entrance. It was a 777, so they went up to the second level. The pilot comes out and greets you. They before you take off, they've already given you champagne. Your thing makes a bed. You're the first ones eating. Private entrance off. Same thing. Golf cart back out to wherever you're going. So the experience, he said, we went to customs. He said, we went through customs and we were like two people there. We got to our luggage. Nobody from the plane was even there yet. We were just standing. We had our luggage and were leaving before the first person got through customs.
Wow.
Yeah, that was. So if you don't want to have your own plane, you want to be able to file that kind of signature class.
Yeah, that's the way. Before I forget it, Roberta just said that Sheetz, SHEETZ.
Yep.
I'm not saying something else.
Yeah, the gas station. Yep.
They're running $1.99 gallon gas this weekend. This coming weekend. Huh?
We don't have any of those, but I am driving 40 minutes to a gas station today. The brand new Buc-ee's opened yesterday in Alabama. It's up on I-65 in Athens, Alabama, so I'm going to drive over there today.
Well, if you go ahead and get you an electric car, you wouldn't have to worry about it. Because I know you want one.
I just didn't shoot a monkey out of my ass.
I was watching this thing on YouTube last night, and because everything on YouTube's true.
It is.
Apparently, if you're going to shoot video inside of a national park for like YouTube, you've got to get a permit.
What?
You have to get it.
Especially if you're going to monetize it. It's like drones. If you shoot it for your own personal medicine, there's no money in it. They don't really care too much. But if you're going to monetize and make money off of it, they definitely want you to have a permit.
Yeah.
In a national park?
Yep.
No, really?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck?
And it takes about 3 weeks to get one.
I bet that doesn't happen in Big Bend. It's such a big park, and there's nothing out there. Who's gonna roll up and stop you? Then, even the park rangers would have to drive 150 miles to get to where you're filming.
Yeah. I just think that sucks. I can see if you're making a movie or you're doing something where you've got actors and cameramen and lighting people and sound men and all that kind of stuff. I can see that.
But just think about these normal travel bloggers when they come into these parks. They're flying drones everywhere. You know what I mean? They're doing all kinds of different stuff, and I would bet it would be park to park would be different. Some of them that are so, where a Yellowstone is so congested, it might be But then some of these other parks are not as used. You know, some of the ones like out in South Dakota, some of these Badlands parks and stuff where it's just wide open spaces.
It's just it's just amazing. Well, you know, in the state parks in South Carolina, you can't fly a drone at all. It's distracting to the other patrons, and I can understand that. If
I
I
just
walk 5 miles to a park, you know, I'm
so
enjoying the peace and quiet. I don't want something buzzing over my head.
so under federal law, all commercial filming that occurs within a unit of a national park requires a permit. That's what the NPS.gov says.
So, Mr. Sadie, no more shooting pornos in the national park.
He wouldn't do that.
So y'all got a big weekend planned?
We're having lots of family over on Thursday.
You can have no more than 15 people on the cast and crew.
But you know, some people are just shooting home video, especially the people that are really into photography. They'll look like a damn professional because they've got the $1,500 DSLR, you know, 35 millimeter with all the damn lenses and all that. I forgot what they're called, the cam things that they hook the cameras to and they keep them level. I mean,
So it is film and still photography. So I refined the research search down for YouTube, and it again says federal law requires a permit for all commercial filming, no matter the size of the crew or the type of equipment. This includes individuals or small groups that don't use much equipment but generate revenue by posting footage on websites such as YouTube or TikTok.
yep.
Wait a minute. Now, if you go down to the January 30th of 2021, YouTubers can now film in national parks without a permit. A judge has declared it unconstitutional.
Okay, there's been another ruling since then.
Oh, has there?
Yes, and he kicked that one out.
Oh, yeah, in 2022, in September 2022, uh,
A tribunal, they ruled 2-1 for reenacting that law.
in August.
I want to know what they do with the money. Damn, Todd, you got a rock and roller living with you now? Gwen taking up drumming?
I think part of it is because the requirement for insurance in case you do something that damages the park is probably
Yeah.
part of it.
And also, if you have an accident, you hurt somebody or some of that kind of crap.
Because we all know that, you know, Amazon has required insurance for sellers of a certain amount from day one, and until they started checking for it, not everybody carried it.
Well, you do 100 million a year on Amazon, you surely have it.
Well, Lag probably has it too. He sells like 2 billion, so
I'm just kind of over the whole mess.
Are you recovered from the wedding?
Oh, Mr. Sadie says he has a permit. Okay, I had to jump over to the chat. Yeah and no. Our checkbook is still looking a little low. Because now that it used to be the bride's family paid for the wedding, the groomsman or the groom's family paid for the rehearsal, dinner after the rehearsal, and that was it.
So does that mean that if your checkbook's a little low, that you don't have to carry it around in that semi truck anymore? That you can
Not
just use a dump
anymore.
truck? You can use
Not
a dump truck
anymore.
instead.
I got to get me a new debit card because the one I've got, I've run the daggum tape off swiping it so much. I'm serious. I was reading an article, not that my son and daughter-in-law did this, but the average wedding cost in Charlotte is $27,000. I mean, that is just ungodly. When I got married the first time, this would have been 1978. It cost my in-laws about $10,000 to get us married, and it cost me 248 to get us unmarried. That's sad. Which we shouldn't have got married in the first place because we were too young. So,
Well, Vanya's kind of young, isn't he?
he's 20. He'll be 25 in May.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had him alone in the car taking him to the airport yesterday. So I told Angela, I said, "You're my daughter-in-law, but I consider you my daughter now. So I'm gonna talk to you just like I do my idiots." And
Idiot son.
I gave them some points that they really need to get focused on.
How old is she?
She will be 25 in August.
Oh.
So they're both pretty set in their careers. So
Yeah.
when Mike gets married, we need to all go down to Florida for his wedding.
There you go. I see Mike as being more of the never getting married again type.
Harlan swears he'll never do that again.
Oh, Miss Ryder, come walking.
What is today? Tuesday? Scott, you're doing your show tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So tomorrow, I will have a special guest on, um, Faith and Paul. They are, um, what's the accounting software? I got too much sleep last night. Hold on one second, I tell you. My reseller genie. Sorry, I don't know why that I could not. I got their names, but we'll talk about accounting services and how their stuff can help you with your any of your accounting for any of your online sales. So eBay, Amazon, Poshmark, all the work, all the little ones. Instead of me just ranting and raving, I'll be nice. So I have I'm gonna make a video here in a few minutes. Um, I'm finally done with politics. I deleted a bunch of podcasts. I deleted the Telegram app. I deleted a lot of stuff. the mood and anger that puts you in is just when you have a feeling of helplessness that you can't do nothing. It's not a good thing. So I said, screw it, I'm out. And it's amazing how less angry you are whenever you only deal with things you can control versus things that are out of your control.
Yeah. It's a lot to get angry about. If you let yourself. You can spend a lot of, not just anger, but you can spend a lot of time messing with politics too.
No, it's Larry, it's amazing how I mean, I'll still follow the normal stuff if it comes along. I'm keeping an eye on Arizona. This is what happens, but I'm not immersed in it. I haven't. It's been a week now since I deleted Telegram. I'm like, the amount of time that I spent reading these articles and all this stuff. What can I do? How can I positively affect my business and my mindset? How many different things can I accomplish instead of spending that time just spinning your wheels? Because do I still believe? It has changed my beliefs. I still believe a lot of the same things, but you know, who am I? I'm just a redneck in Alabama. I'm not going to have a great effect on what goes on. Carol, if I lived where you would, I'd still be fighting. You live in the middle of a bunch of liberals that would drive me nuts. Not to mention, I live in Alabama, the most conservative state in the union. What is there to do here? For the most part, I live in a Republican town, Republican state. Even though I don't agree with, just because they're Republican doesn't mean I agree with you, but for the most part. Oh yeah, it is a never-ending rabbit hole, and there's always, and especially with today and social media, the rabbit hole is big enough to drive a dump truck in. You can find story after story and be angry a lot in videos, and I really started thinking about YouTube. I'm like, why my mindset being so negative that I need to put my videos on Rumble because that a reselling video will be taken down because of politics. I'm like, that's just not smart. So I'm going to end unless it directly affects, say the $600 next year or this year, the $600 that you've got to pay that you're reported for your 1099, unless it's a ruling or something that directly affects reselling, I'm just going to stay away from it for the most part. Except to talk about, maybe inflation's continuing, January inflation continuing to rise, people's money is still getting tight. What should you be selling? Unless it has a direct effect. I'm just not going to deal with it anymore. Like there's not a chance in hell that I'm going for anything Democrat. Nothing. But a lot of it's just about reclaiming your life and reclaiming your mentality back. It's just that's it, John Jones. I've decided I'm going to embrace the liberal lifestyle and I'm going to transition to what I need to come up with a female name for Scott. I'm gonna embrace my transgenderism. That's exactly what we're doing. The bearded lady picker. That's it.
Clock.
That's just. Tim,
Yes.
if you're thinking you can hurt my feelings, Tim, I don't have any. I make a very ugly man, so of course I would make a very ugly woman. So there you
Now Sadie, he would be pretty because he already has a big start with those woman hands, girl hands. He holds those little girly beers. Yeah.
go. So Brandon, that's just that's the way you can look at it here or there. I choose to focus on me and what I need. I'm over halfway done with life, and in order to reach my lofty goals of paying this house off next year and some of the projects I'm working on, I don't need any distractions. I need to be of clear mind and clear thought, and just I need. So I'm going back to where everybody should be to begin with, Brenda. You should be taking care of yourself. You should be taking care of your family and not relying on government for anything and that kind of stuff. So I'm just returning to where we were 30, 40, 50 years ago. Taking responsibility for my own success, taking responsibility for my family's future, and those kind of things. And so I've got to do what's right for me versus just being angry at the world because cabal was taking over the world. I'll be long dead before they ever finish. Uh, if I do any more of those lag, it'll be strictly on Rumble. All right. Larry, you're 100% correct. For those who don't see Mr. Sadie, God and family first. The rest will work itself out.
Mm-hmm.
And understand that go read Romans and Acts and understand that even though I believe Trump lost and it was stolen from him, um, kings and rulers are serve at his command, whether we like them or not, whether they serve the purpose we think they do. I'm gonna tell you the end of the story. If you don't want to hear the end of the story, hit mute right now. God wins in the end. This story is already written. The end of the world, the end of everything is, I believe, has truly already been written, and we're just part of the scenes playing out to a final destination of eternity with the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So I have a lot of satisfaction in knowing that if I focus on the correct things, the big things He'll take care of. So that's my piece. That's right. I've said my piece. Was it the old movie? How many people saw the movie? Uh, what was the one Clooney was in? Oh, brother, where art thou? I've said my piece. I've counted to 3.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, that's what his wife told him. Uh, she said her piece. She counted to 3. but it's been very different to find different things to occupy. You know, gotten more, a few more things listed and other things. Felix, that was very disappointing. The effort with which we came out in the first half, we did not duplicate in the second half, and to give up a 1-1 tie, um, felt like kissing your sister, pretty much. Highly disappointing. We should have scored several in that first.
Well, I don't follow politics a lot, but it was hard not to notice Republicans doing an investigation of the Bidens. But that'll probably all turn out to be nothing that they can prove. We'll see.
Yeah, the U.S. is going through a transition, Felix. You know, Pulisic, however you say his name. He's a dynamic young player, but you could see the weight of the world on his shoulders yesterday. It took him quite a while to get into the game. You know, maybe now that he's got a taste of what it feels like to be even though he doesn't have the captain armband, he truly is the leader of that team. You know, we'll see what they learn. Heaven forbid, we got England on Friday, so, and England crushed Iran 6-2. I have not talked to Eric in quite a while. I need to reach out to him. Felix, when I hear lose, I still think of South Carolina stomping the mud out of Tennessee this weekend. That's what I think of. And I'm glad for my buddy Ron, who lives in Texas. I am so glad that Texas A&M finally beat the Sister Marys of the Catholic Church to get off that 6-game slide, because he was very suicidal for one of the largest falls from preseason number 6 and not being ranked and not going to a bowl game. That hasn't happened in quite a few years. Heck, I don't know. I know you know I did not. Looks like they lost 2-1. That was not a good start for Argentina. All right, the other day I said you were from Saudi, and you corrected me as saying you're in Yemen. You can't be in Yemen and vote for Saudi Arabia. That's different countries. No, John. My Jacob follows soccer, so he had it on TV. So I just happened, when I come in and out yesterday, I happened to just keep up with it when he was coming in and out. That makes sense, Felix. So I guess we'll allow you to pull for Saudi then. Yeah, fishing and picking. There were lots of rumors yesterday and last night floating around that Kiffin, after the Egg Bowl this weekend, will step down and take the Auburn job this weekend. He denied it. On Twitter last night, he said somebody asked him straight up, and he's like, "This is news to me. I didn't know anything about it, so who knows."
Oh, sorry, Tom.
That's all right.
I'm like,
I just
man,
sitting here picking my nose.
I'm like, man, what happened? We talked about Tom's money only going from a semi to a dump truck, and he just left.
No, we had a
internet issue.
If you only knew somebody who worked for the company you get internet from, maybe you could get something done.
Oh, she was irritated because she might have to go to the office. But you were talking about the tax people. Don't you use somebody over here in Charlotte? He was on your show or something?
Yeah, he moved to Atlanta now.
Oh, did he
Jared, yeah.
move closer to you? Get all that so he could handle all your money.
I think his wife was actually took a position in Atlanta a few years ago. That's why they moved.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of his accounting stuff and stuff he can do remotely. So
he yeah. What's the name of the What's the name of the software they're going to talk about tomorrow?
My reseller Genie.
Okay.
That other one that everybody uses, the downloadable spreadsheet or whatever.
Right.
They went belly up. They decided that this year was their last year. They're not going to do it next year. So people just going to have them on just to talk about an alternative. You know what? So people, don't start next year wondering what the hell can we do? And they're because Paul is an accountant and she is a reseller on Poshmark.
Right.
And so they built it for her needs, and they're like, you know what? Maybe this is something that we need to build into a business. And so it does a lot of financials and that kind of stuff and cost tracking and stuff too that you can use it for. So it's
I have not heard of that before. But so South Carolina beat who did you say they beat?
Tennessee. Tennessee is number 5 in the nation and lost to an unranked team by 31.
A good friend of mine bleeds Tennessee at Orange, so I'm gonna have to send him an email digging him. I don't have the patience for football.
And they also their season is gonna they're gonna struggle with Vandy this weekend because they lost their quarterback too. I hate because from everything you've read and any interactions, their quarterback's a nice young fellow, very respectable, who's a Heisman candidate, and one of those funky ones, no contact injury, turned on his knee and tore his ACL. So you hate to see that because that means even for next year he'll be struggle to get back for the season. I don't wish injury on anybody. If we ain't good enough to beat you straight up, then the hell with it. We ain't good enough.
Felix, Alabama, UNC, Charlotte, Chapel Hill. UNC, Chapel Hill, and Duke. They have some of the best football teams money can buy.
Yeah, UNC's actually got a pretty nice team. Their quarterback is up for the Heisman too. I think that UNC's only got one loss. I think. Now it's legal to buy teams now. What are you talking about?
That's right.
Yeah, in North Carolina did this thing where athletes could get in-state tuition, and they made it a law, and that didn't last too long because people were raising hell about that. But it's tough.
I don't know, Felix. You might, since you left, you might have missed that there's all kinds of graduation standards and stuff that they put in now and Alabama's one of the higher graduating percentage, whatever that number is it API, whatever they call that number for colleges. Alabama ranks for its athletes one of the higher schools in the South, well above average. We pay a lot of money to tutors and everything else to help these folks get Saban is a stickler about class and about all the doing things right way. So,
Fish, I don't follow football. I'm glad I'm glad Georgia
Did
UNC
UNC really
down.
lose? Did UNC really lose to Georgia Tech this weekend? I missed that. Damn, there's that. I guess that kind of ended that. They lost. They got 2 losses now. I guess.
I pull for the University of Podunk, which is over in western North Carolina. They are the Fighting Moonshiners.
The Fighting Moonshiners?
Yeah.
Really?
No, that's just made that up. I don't. I just don't have. I don't have the patience for football. It's too slow. I like hockey and I like soccer because it works with my ADD. I mean, I like hockey and soccer.
So I was watching a video. A young couple went to Tennessee, so they were doing a Tennessee game, and then they went to a Manchester. Or was not Manchester U, but one of the whatever the one is with the Real Madrid and the other one, the big game between those 2 Spanish teams, and comparing college football to soccer and how many more people watch soccer, and there's no real timeouts, there's no breaks in the action. I'm like, and I'm watching that game yesterday, and I'm like, so when the ball goes out of bounds, one person picks it up and drops it. The next person comes by, picks it up, looks around, and you essentially have stops and play and timeouts every time the ball goes out of bounds. You know, you're going to set up for a corner kick. It takes 3 days. The ref's got to come in and separate 2 players. The ref's got to come in and do this. There are plenty of stops and breaks in soccer.
We're not too much into sports around here, but Roberta will stop on a channel that the Aussie rules football teams are playing on them because she likes those little skimpy uniforms they wear.
Vintage memories, Hendon Hooker. Everything you've ever read about Hendon Hooker is someone who's done it the right way, done everything, and was having an exceptional year until he tore his ACL. But he's really had you just wonder how much of it's the quarterback and how much of it's that crazy system where they put him in. You're always in 4 wides.
Yeah, football. Soccer is a man's sport.
And they also made the point too. You know that Real Madrid game got more viewers than the Super Bowl. But what else? Okay, so you're in Europe. What other game do you have? They play a little bit of basketball, but for the most part, it's soccer. You've got soccer, and that's it. You know, you want to be fair. I mean, look at the North American market with basketball, with football, with college football, with hockey, and you've got all, and then plus soccer on top of it. You add all those together, and what's the support of sports in the United States? It's an amazing number. It's just we are splintered, you know. With hell, we support baseball 162 games a year. What the hell?
Well, NFL, they took a big hit when they started doing all the kneeling. People just turned off their champ TVs.
I really don't watch it much anymore. I keep up with players, but I don't watch NFL much anymore after all that craziness.
I just, we've got the Panthers here. I couldn't tell you how they're. I did see they're like at the bottom of the pile, the list of where they were putting from like 1 to 10.
They need a quarterback, Tom. Maybe you should go try out.
Do I?
They need a quarterback. Maybe you should go try out.
Nah, I'm too old. I'm just too old for that stuff. But just overall, like I've mentioned it before, there was an article where some of the high schools are having problems fielding the football team because their mommies are just not letting them play because they could get hurt, or they're going into the soccer routine. But there was a couple of 2 or 3 up around Raleigh that couldn't field a varsity football team. They had to combine all like 3 high schools into one team just to field a varsity football team, which is sad.
Yeah, that doesn't happen down here. The South is. I don't consider Raleigh and the liberalization of Raleigh, y'all are not considered the South. That part of the. If you take Charlotte and Raleigh, they're not southern cities. So
Well, if you look at any of the maps, you'll for political maps, the whole state is red except Raleigh, Charlotte,
in Winston probably.
yeah, Winston.
And
I was
and that
surprised that
crazy ass fucking Asheville. Oh my god.
no, Asheville actually went red this year.
No kidding.
Yep. I'm surprised. I was really surprised at that. Probably because the economy's not too good, gas prices. Um, they need that tourist dollars because I don't think they really do anything up there except handle tourism.
You know what is terrible?
What's that?
I'm trying my best to not do nothing, and somebody sends me a link to a video on Rumble about the COVID shot and the deaths. Like you try to get away from something, and it tries to pull you back in. I'm like,
Yeah, I tell you what. I keep hearing more people that are still, they've got COVID for the second or third time and they had the shots. I've had it 3 times.
well, technically, I've never had it because I've never been tested. I've never been back. I'm nothing. Do I think I had it? Probably, but
But you're un-American, so you.
I am un-American because I exercise my God-given rights in this country. I'm un-American.
Yep, that's right. Absolutely. Um, while I was away, I heard you mention
Tom been
The-
giving them.
they're investigating the Bidens.
Yeah, they're gonna go heavy after them and through the House for sure.
Yep. Um, I just I don't understand how come things were not investigated. This is not Republican. This is not Democrat. This is a U.S. citizen. If somebody does something that's Congress or Senate, the House, and they do something that's breaking the law, I don't understand how they can get by. It's like Hillary and the computers and all that kind of stuff. Why was she never charged? Because that is against the law. Biden, when he told the Ukrainians that they were not getting that money they were supposed to have unless they gave him that job or whatever.
And they fired the prosecutor who was looking into it.
Yeah, fire the prosecutor.
And he
That to me,
I mean, this is not a rumor. He was proud of it and banged his chest on it and told everybody what he did.
yeah, because I've seen the interview about it. I thought that was misuse of power because our mayor here in Charlotte went to prison for 3 years because he was selling favors. To me, that's the same thing.
It is because of the once you start uncovering any bit of it, it's the powers that be and who else becomes with it. It's not that is why it is simply the unseen forces that are covering their own. That's why the Hillary thing never showed up because
Too many people would get depressed and they'd find them laying out in the middle of a park with a 38 in their hand. But I'm proud to say that Charlotte has joined the big leagues with New York and Detroit and Chicago. We've had a mayor go to jail for selling favors. So I guess that we are now in the big time.
yeah. So Mike, it's unavoidable. I'll still keep up with what's going on, but it's my whole thing for me is I'm not going to spend hours, reading into articles and keeping up with every bit and every minute of it, and just let it be an obsession, I'm going to avoid the rabbit holes and just, I listen to a couple podcasts, and whatever information I get from them is fine, and that's it. Because I really like Matt Walsh, so he'll mention and keep up with some of the stuff, and Jeremy Knowles or Michael Knowles, I'm sorry. So between those two guys, and I allow myself one crazy podcast or so. That's Kramer.
I like Kramer.
Kramer was fired up Friday, by the way.
He was what?
He was fired up Friday on his podcast.
Oh, was he? We were wedding crap, so we didn't watch it. Usually we listen to it.
Yeah, he's still there and fired up, and he's like, I'm stopping just short of calling for violence in the streets. He's like, they've proven they can steal an election right from our face, and nobody's gonna do anything about it until we exercise our power as citizens. He said this, the big thing he was preaching was, this country started as a rebellion, and it's probably gonna take a rebellion to keep it.
Yeah.
I'm afraid he might be right.
So when are you going to start changing all your little handles on these shows to Scotia? I heard a while ago you going trans.
Well, that's what Lag said. It sounded like I was going trans. So.
Scotia, Scotia.
Somebody suggested Scotina, so maybe that's.
Yeah, I saw where they were talking about the blonde wig. But it's,
I've got one right here somewhere. I don't know what I do with it. I've got a Trump wig and a long blonde wig somewhere.
This winter is really going to bring the people out, because like up where in Buffalo where they had 6 feet of snow this past weekend.
I still think a lot of everything hinges on Arizona, and the powers that be know it. So they did the normal steal Arizona, but the interesting thing happened yesterday. The Attorney General of Arizona said, "I'm not certifying this election until I get the proof of this, and this, and it passes muster. I'm not certified. It looks." Arizona really does need a redo. They need to go all paper ballots, vote one day. No machines. What is this print on demand ballots? I've never heard of a system like that, where each polling station has to print their own ballots instead of having, you've got 2,000 voters in this district. There should be 2,000 ballots. They should be printed ahead of time by a company with watermarks. This is easy stuff to fix. This is not complicated stuff. They used COVID 2 years ago. If you throw out and go back to earlier elections and get rid of these machines and hand count, it's pretty simple. No more drop boxes. This is. But I think the thing that's going to scare everybody is if we don't get rid of this stuff, the Republicans are going to go all in. So you're going to see drop boxes at churches. You're going to see drop boxes everywhere Republicans meet. If you can't beat them, you start harvesting your own ballots.
Right. Well, it's here. The way we vote, you sign in, they check your name on the list, then they give you a blank card.
It's not the same as it is here. You have to go in. You have to show them. Or you didn't have to show ID. Alabama, for all the backwards, make the jokes about marrying your sister and your cousins and all that shit about Alabama. You walk in. You show them your ID. They check you against the voter rolls. They scan the back. They get your ID by scanning the back of your driver's license. You're checked in. You're given a ballot that has all the candidates on it, and then you fill the thing out, and then you put it in the count machine as you leave. The only thing I disagree with is the count machine. It can be manipulated. But the part about getting they could count these by hand. We could use counting machines that have no internet, no nothing, no wireless card, no nothing. It's simple for someone like Elon Musk or something to make machines. that are strictly all their function is to count ballots and nothing else.
Well, after you stick this little white card into the voting machine, it prints something out on the back of it, and then you take it over to another machine that counts it. And
Yeah, I don't trust.
I don't understand how come it takes so damn long.
I don't know. They tried to steal North Carolina. I don't trust North Carolina. You've got Democrats in charge in Raleigh. I wouldn't piss on your governor if he was on fire. And I lived there when he first started. I cannot stand him. He came right from Charlotte to Raleigh. I mean, he came right from the steel machine of Charlotte to Raleigh.
Yeah.
But the only good thing you guys did was your Supreme Court went way right. It went from what 5-4 to 7-2.
Cha-ching.
It was slim majority of Republican. Now it's like 7-2. I mean, they should. You guys have a voter ID law that the Supreme Court is holding. North Carolina is holding up. They should be able to get through that now.
See, we voted. We had an election to require ID for voting. It passed. Then the governor vetoed it.
He can't veto an election bill, though.
Well, I think they were doing it more to find out what the people of North Carolina thought. And he was saying it was not during a major election, term. So
I watched. Here's what's wrong with the country. And I watched a thing last night on TikTok with Jesse Waters, and he's 100% correct. So they did a poll of this is maybe a month or so old, but they did a poll of who Americans thought America was. And so they asked them, how many people do you think are trans in this country? What percentage of the population do you think are trans? And they'd answer 25 or 30%. The real number is 1%. The media has this hyped up like there's so many of these people running around. What's the percentage of gay? 24%. No, it's low threes. They wanted to know what percentage of America is black. And, it's like 47%. America's black population is 12%. They wanted to know what percentage of America is of Mexican descent, Latin descent, and they answered like 42%. The real number is 17%. So the average American has no idea what America is truly made. You watch TV and you watch commercials and you think that this country is half black, half lesbian and gay, and the true and the outrage and how we're going to offend 1% of the people when people are going, that's like 25. There was a teacher somewhere who tried to claim that 47% of her second grade class was trans. I'm like, these people are idiots. It's truly such small numbers that we are extrapolating over a whole population because the media has made everyone believe that it's just rampant everywhere. And
that's the reason that small churches are getting together and creating faith-based private schools. Big churches are creating faith-based private schools, and it's got this homeschooling is just jumped off the chart, and it's got the school districts and the National Education Union or whatever, Educators Union. It's got them worried because if there's not enough people to put kids to put in these schools, then some people are going to start getting laid off.
Have you seen the craziness too of the sports teams where they've got one guy who has claimed that he's a girl and he's on the sports team, and all the ladies will say, we don't feel comfortable. There's a guy in here changing with us.
Yeah.
And so the school district's answer to this is to kick all the ladies out of the ladies' locker room and make the one with a dick can go in there to the women's room. I mean, it is just absolutely infuriating what we've allowed. And at some point, we have to take all this back. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Normalcy has got to rule.
I can't remember what state it is. Is it Connecticut where the two very muscular black trans girls were running on the girls' team, the track team, and they took first and second, and they were like 8 seconds faster than the girl that held the state record. Anyway, they're a lot of the girls and the parents are wanting to form their own girls athletic association.
See, here's the problem: is people don't truly understand the difference in, like, all these women's rights, and they want women to be equal, and they have in their minds they have got it that women's and men should be equal in sport. I mean, the U.S. women's soccer team, or they win national championships and world championships. They can't beat a high school team. They can't beat a men's high school team. I mean, this is the difference in physiology. We're talking professionals that practice, ladies who do an outstanding job in the ladies' league, and I'm not saying anything bad about the U.S. team, but it's the difference between men and women. Physiology. There was one I saw it the other day. I saw an article where this guy who is now trans, in 10th grade, he in the track meet or whatever it was, he finished 72nd in the men's division. He went trans and won state as a woman. 72nd in the men's, number one in the women's.
Well, it's going to catch up. All this stuff is going to catch up. People are going to get tired of it. People are going to athletic organizations is big money.
See, the Democrats, they've made a huge mistake too, but allowing all these people from Latin America to come up here. Latin American, there's heavy Catholic in these folks. They're extremely conservative, and they do not believe in any of this craziness. They believe in borders. They believe because they don't believe in the communism they're running away from, because they've been living under this oppression for a long, the drug dealers and all the stuff that they've run away from. You're letting in people that you thought, oh, we're going to get them out of their country. They're going to vote Democrat forever. And turns out you didn't understand the fact that how conservative these people were to begin with. And so it's going to be very interesting moving forward how things happen.
This friend of mine, he grew up north, and he went to a Catholic boys' school, high school, and every week they had confession. And the priest that would listen to the confession, he always made a joke about, okay, I've got me a fresh pot of coffee going over here beside me. Let's begin. Because he felt like he was going to be there all day long. And he said they did that every week. They had to go to confession. And his parents were real, followers of the Catholic faith or denomination. And you're right. There's a lot of people coming north that are devout, because that's all they had was their faith. I don't know. It's going to soon catch up, because all this BS is they're going to run out of money. The government's going to run out of money. Actually, let me rephrase that. We are the government. We're going to run out of the money, because we are the government's income stream. And these little fools, and I said these little fools that want all this money, all they want, all this college money written off. They're going to pay for it. Do they not understand that they will pay for it in the long run, tenfold, because it comes from them. It comes from us. But that's just my opinion, and I'm just a stupid old fat white man from North Carolina. Mr. Sadie says he can play. He can identify as a 7-year-old and play t-ball. Since Scott's trans now, he's going to start going to. He's going to identify as a 7-year-old little girl, and he's going to start going to all the beauty pageants.
I don't care what anybody says. The best thing that ever happened to the SEC was Lane Kiffin coming down here, coming back. So John Sokoloff is a reporter for WCBI News in Starkville. He tweeted out breaking news: head coach Lane Kiffin plans to step down as a Rebels offensive coach Friday and head to Auburn to come in their next coach. Sources say. Sources say Tigers haven't officially offered the job to anyone yet, so Lane to Auburn is happening. Story soon. Lane tweets back out, "This just in. Breaking news. John Sokolov of WCBIN News in Starkville, Mississippi, plans to step down as lead anchor and head to WLOX to become their lead news anchor. Sources say WLOX hasn't offered the job to anyone yet, so WLOX, the John to LOX is happening. Story soon." He's a freaking legend.
Does anybody remember that it was a softball team? It was called the Queen in Her Court, and it was 4 girls that played fast pitch softball, and they went around playing. Well, they came to Charlotte and played against our minor league team here. There was 4 girls, a pitcher of. No, there was 5 girls. There was a catcher, a pitcher, and then a girl that played like. There was 3 girls that played the outfield, but also played the bases. That makes sense. They would come in here and they would clean house because they were playing fast pitch, underhand fast pitch, and the guys couldn't hit the ball. And then when the girls got up to bat, they were just knocking those balls all over the place because they were pitching at such a slower pace.
Those are some of the best videos to watch some of these really good softball pitchers. Just high school boys who think they're just everything, and they're just mowing, and even college baseball, just mowing them down.
It was back when they were doing all the planning for the wedding and whatnot. There was a video on YouTube of this little flower girl, and she was not happy. You could tell she was not happy to be the flower girl, and she looked like she was fast pitching those pedals down the aisle. She was underhanding them, just broadcasting them down in front of her. And
so if I'd have known you had the wedding come up, I'd have sent you this video. It was on TikTok. The guy it was like this. I think the title of it was "Legendary Flower Guy" or something. And it was this dude with about my size, big burly beard, and he had on like a biker vest, and he had a strap going around here to a pouch in the back. And he starts prancing around behind the people, and he pulls out this pouch. He starts passing everybody down the aisle, all of his buddies that are all sitting through the crowd, Bud Lights. And he gets up he's dancing and prancing up to where everybody is, and he has a Bud Light for every one of the groomsmen.
Right.
And so as he starts to say the vows, all the guys go shh. And they're sitting there drinking Bud Light while the ceremony's going on. That was hysterical.
Well, I know this wedding, the groom's mother and grandmothers would not have been too pleased with that, because my mom and my mother-in-law, they're pretty straightforward about things, and alcohol is one of the things that they have really big thoughts on. I mean, they don't mind anybody having a beer, having a drink or whatnot, but just letting it get carried away where they're a dumbass, that makes a big difference.
So it looks like Lane Kiffin just did a little bit of like a small press release. On Twitter, all he said was, this is new to me. I hadn't heard anything about this. But there's a little press release is what on Facebook, the group is Alabama Nation, who has got the thing side by side. It says it's at Lane Kiffin. Did he do it on Twitter?
Vintage. I have a feeling that Disney wants to get rid of this guy so bad they'll pay him a 3-year contract just to get him out of there.
Look at the damage he's done to their stock value. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Couldn't happen to a better company.
And to $128 for a one-day ticket, I mean, that's pretty bad. Now Maggie and Bridget will be here in the chat in just a minute, just chewing our ass out about that. But I mean, it's they have really got to back up and regroup because they're just pricing themselves out of a market.
Oh my! So Lane, here it is. It's under. Let me see. It's under Lane's Twitter. There it sits. He released it. That picture of what, and then somebody else replied. There's John Sokolov's career. Unless he's right. If he's right, then nothing's going to happen. But
Anissa, I'd like to just go one time in my lifetime. And as being that I will be 65 the 3rd of next month, you know, there's
you said 75. What?
65. You know, I did go to Disney World in 1978, where you paid an admission fee and then you bought tickets. Does anybody remember that?
I was a kid when I went at that time, so I know my brother and I went down there about that same time. But yeah, I don't remember much about it.
It was you got a ticket. You bought a ticket for each ride. And I don't know. I was like 17. I don't remember. No, I'd have been 18. I don't remember, how much it cost because my dad was paying for it. But
I was only 9 back then, so if you were much older than I was in 1978, I was only 9.
Todd was in college.
Ron, I've already told them your story of how it was so glad that y'all played Sisters of Mercy this weekend so that y'all can end that 6-game losing streak so you could be taken off the suicide hotline.
It's been years ago, but Clemson had this killer. They were just beating everybody. And then all of a sudden they're playing like Ball State. It was Ball State. I remember that. And I was asking my brother who follows football. I'm like, who the hell is Ball State? And why is Clemson playing them? And he said it was just the way the things work out. But Ball State ended up giving them a run for their money. They still lost, but it was pretty tight. And because in that case, what do they have to lose? They might end up winning. I don't understand. I don't understand how these big universities end up playing all these little small ones.
Yeah. Plus, I have more time now to watch Saban. So his press conference yesterday, dude is a freaking legend. He's up there and he's kind of answering questions like he always does, kind of grumpy old man. And they asked him about where one of his players is. He didn't suit up in the last 2 games. He looks around, he looks at him and goes, because he's suspended. Just like his press conference. And he starts walking away. He goes, in case I don't see y'all again, let me tell you happy Thanksgiving. He turns around and walks off again. That man.
It sounded like Scott, since his politics were over, he had more time and it sounded like he was getting ready to say he had more time to watch Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, Nick's. A lot of life lessons you can hear just listening to him about the way to approach life and to be successful and but yeah, he is. I enjoy listening to Nick Saban.
We're burning up Todd's time, his StreamYard time, but I have a question. How many of y'all lost money in that FX bullshit? Is it FX?
I think Lag had a big position in FX. Whatever it is, it's
FTX or what? You know what I'm talking about?
FTX. Yeah, Lag was all in for the crypto. Oh no, I do like to watch Mike Leach too. There's nothing wrong with watching the Pirate.
What happened to FTX? There was a crypto thing?
Yeah, it turned out to be a huge Ponzi scheme. billions of dollars down the drain.
Billions of dollars.
Wow.
And the Bahamas is involved in it because of
That's where it was based out of, and that's
Yeah.
where he was living. So the telltale signs, I heard Elon talking about it. He said the thing that should have been an eye opener to everyone is if you look at somebody. He said you can use me for example. I have gotten that. I have a lot of wealth. He said, but I don't have a liquid position in anything because all my wealth is tied up in Tesla stock, or when before that it was tied up in PayPal and everything else. He said so for someone to you look at Bill Gates. It took him years and years of selling off Microsoft stock before he ever had a liquid position anywhere as close to this young kid at 20 whatever he was years old or still is. And he's like, that should have been the sign that they were running funny with the numbers and that they were just using investor money for whatever, because it is not normal to have that kind of cash position so fast.
Well, it looked like people would have learned back when the e-commerce bust went by.
The interesting thing is that they filed lawsuits against Tom Brady and several other of the public figures who promoted that.
Yeah. When you have a business that doesn't really have any assets, you've got to really, if you've got money you want to send to me, I might send you some of it back. I might send you all of it back with a little bit money, with a little bit extra in there.
I take any donations and I will send you a bearded picker certificate of authenticity.
That's right. I'm selling my friendship for.
Yeah, you'll get a bearded picker stock certificate, and it'll be into this wonderful franchise that is me.
Basically, that's what these things are. There's nothing. The American dollar. There's nothing really behind them anymore, but there's a country backing it up. You know what I mean? I just couldn't. And now, all this virtual crap. What is it? Mecca, whatever Facebook's new name is, their stock is
Meta.
Meta. It hit the bottom because of all the $6 billion they spent on their metaverse, and it's really not taking off. People,
But just wait till the next thing that's going to be the next crash. I'm sure they're already dying too. Is those NFTs or those pictures or digital pictures and all that shit that people were saying were worth tons of money?
I used to play.
They're going to crap out.
I think most of you know that I like to play games, computer games. I used to play. It's a virtual world called Second Life. Second Life is far greater than anything. The graphics, the things you can do is far greater than any of this meta bullshit. At one time they had hundreds of thousands of users every day. And now they're lucky if they have 25,000 users in a day. People just, especially in stuff like that, people get tired of it. It becomes too much of an effort. Now, Second Life was just a regular, monitor-based game. It wasn't the VR. But how many people are going to want to deal with putting on, especially in business, putting on putting on a virtual headset and all that kind of crap? The computers have got to be able to run it, to log into a dadgum meeting with your boss when all he's got to do is send out a link from Zoom or StreamYards or EVMux and you're there. The practical part of it's cool. I will get excited when I can step into a holodeck like on Star Trek: The Next Generation. I will be excited about that because you allegedly feeling the environment, the wind, the water, all that kind of stuff. You're just in these virtual worlds. All you're doing is moving the visual part of it from a monitor to a headset, and that's all you're getting off of it. And people need to get off the fucking computer and they need to go meet friends for a coffee or whatnot and get out and see people face to face instead of. Now it's kind of hard because like this. I'm in North Carolina. Scott's in Alabama. Todd's in Texas, and when the other people are in here, there's like Virginia and stuff like that. There's no way we could get together like we do. But
I'm going to dinner with resellers in person tonight.
well, that's good. I mean, that's the point. Is people need to get out and really spend time with other human beings face to face. John, that was that a lot of people said that.
See, I just sent out a message to remind them. Wings or bust, suckers. To Harlan and Tracy.
But you're right. Those graphics and whatnot. I'm jacked in. Yeah. That's bullshit. I mean, it is. I mean, graphics are protected by copyright. If you create a graphic and it's an original graphic, it's automatically protected by copyright.
I mean, it was on the.
I don't understand it. And these people spending $15,000 and $20,000. Hell, I'm gonna go set my butt up on the copy machine and make some copies of it. And that's an original artwork. I mean, it's just everybody wants to get rich quick scheme. And it just doesn't happen.
This is good because it's giving me a head start on getting the house clean for Thanksgiving.
Glock says that
Tons to do, so that's
Genesis
good.
Trading says if they haven't raised $1 billion,
Paint,
if they can't raise $1 billion, they may go bankrupt. So many people are losing money. It's going to end up being monitored by the feds. It'll end up. So anyhow, I mean, people like Todd, they're not really worried about it. They lose a couple $1 million. They got a lot more in the vault. But anyway, I got to get out of here. I was gonna just come in for a few minutes and say how'd you do and get out of here. And I've been in here an hour now. So Todd, you should get more money in your payout this month or next month
My payout for what?
from your monetization.
Oh, yeah, boy.
Instead of getting $10, you'll get $12.
I've been out, let's see, May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months. Almost 7 months. I looked and it's like $55. Woohoo! Winning.
I mean, she's better. I mean, we
So
Well,
by
was really bad.
sometime this coming summer, I'll reach the $100 payout that they give.
Scott, he gets $1,000 or better every month. He has so many views.
Oh, that's it. That's exactly what I get.
Would you say, Scott, one time you get $6 for a live show on average? Something
Oh,
like
yeah, on average. I can look it up from the last live show. It's going to be awesome.
And then you lose half of that to YouTube.
No, that's my cut.
Oh, that's your cut.
YouTube Studio. I'll be there in just. I don't think it's there. Ads. I need to analytics. I pay attention so much I don't even look at the last one, which was on November 9th. Let's see how much. Your estimated revenue, $7.05.
That's your part. Well,
$7.05.
after you pay your part of taxes you got to pay on it, that means you clear about $4.
I know it's killer, ain't it?
It'll take more. It'll take at least 2 shows a week to be able to buy a beer. $4, you can't even take Joni out for a Big Mac and an order of fries.
I'm gonna record a video right after this show and put it up, and it will earn more money before the show starts tomorrow than the entire show is gonna do tomorrow.
What you gonna make your video on?
Just talk about removing negativity from your life. It's gonna have it'll have a clickbait title like something like "I'm done" or some shit.
Okay. I hate those. I wish there was other than thumbs down.
It'll be truth. It'll be I'm done with reading this stuff every day. I'm done with the negativity, and you can't help but see it. But you can't help but see what happens. But you don't have to chase the rabbit holes and that kind of stuff I've been talking about before you got here.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard you talking about the falling down the rabbit hole.
It's
all right. I gotta go. You guys have a great day. Thanks for having the show, Todd.
Todd fell asleep.
He's been working over there. He's been either that or he's been trying. He's had a bunch of porn screens pop up, and he's trying to clear them off because I could hear that mouse just click, 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 click.
Yeah, I've been looking at an online auction while we're talking. But
Did you buy anything? Or you bidding on anything?
Yeah, I put in some bids. So yeah, we'll be over on Scott's channel tomorrow, and then Thursday. I don't know whether Gwen may have me too busy. I may not be able to do a show on Thanksgiving.
Just don't plan on one. Everybody
We'll take
needs to be bonding
Thanksgiving
with their
off.
family.
Worst comes to worst, I'll do one. I don't care. I ain't got nothing else to do.
So you're doing one Wednesday and Thursday?
Yeah, I don't have a life, so it's okay.
Well, I don't either when a bunch of families coming over to eat turkey.
My best girl came to see me. So I have been jealous of that little fucker, Franklin. He sucks. He's trying
Her
to take
baby
my daddy
brother.
away from me.
Her baby brother.
He's trying to take my daddy away. And I love my daddy. Well, Joni's over there right now. She's breaking her neck to see what Joni's doing.
All right. Y'all have a great day. Have a happy Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you tomorrow.
All right. See y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Peace.